In this episode in particular, Darlene is Foggy Nelson.
Okay.
She's the guy who's keeping the hero from doing the cool stuff. You know, I really don't think you should go do that cool stuff you do. Let's talk about it for... No! Foggy, get out of the way! Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt, the Dork Lords. We're here talking about Mr. Robot. Season 4, Episode 2. 402, Payment Required. So, yeah, we got a couple of revelations in this episode. Sure. We also had some parts that I was less than enthused about. We'll get to that. But try to sum it up briefly. Sure, briefly. We open with like a news footage reel, basically, of this Deus organization, we'll call it. That is what White Rose set up after the fall of the Berlin Wall. We have these little,
Zelig.
There we go. Like Zelig, where we were putting White Rose into these meetings with famous people. So this Deus organization helped create the internet, started the Gulf War, all these little test patterns for how to control the world. But what they weren't telling people was that they had one particular thing in mind, which was this machine that they built under a nuclear power plant in Washington Township. They are now trying to move said machine to the Congo, and once they've done that, by the end of this year...
Who knows?
We think. That's when they're like, all right, we don't need anybody anymore, and we'll kill Elliot and Price and whatever. So we all learned on that through Price, who, remember at the end of last episode, saved Elliot's life.
Yes. You,
sir, were correct. I thought that maybe it was just a warning from White Rose, we killed you, and then we brought you back.
Yeah.
But no, it was Price, because Price, as the, fifth in command or whatever he is, was the guy on, that they call to dispose of any body. So if somebody comes into the fake safe house and they'll get killed off, it's Price's job to come dispose of the person. So, hey, look, it's Elliot. Let's keep him alive. So Price is now working somewhere. He was a little reluctant, but whatever. He's working with Elliot.
Well, I probably should have watched that scene again because, it's interesting that he decided to save Mr. Robot's life without the expectation that anything would come of it, right? Maybe he just he initially just thought this is one small way that he could get his vengeance out.
Keep somebody alive that could screw up White Rose, maybe.
I guess, but I think maybe it's just I had to let my daughter die, maybe, and
maybe this is what Angela would have wanted.
Yeah, maybe. It's because it doesn't make. The fact that he's resistant to the plan, I would have thought he would have been on board, or even thought, okay, let's get her. But no, he wasn't. He had to be convinced of that because he was really no, forget it. You can't. No, this is.
He's basically so impossible. There's no way you can do it until he's reminded about Angela, and he kind of ends up coming back around. It looks like they're starting off. They're coming up with an Ocean's 11 style heist thing, where it's they've got that stuff, but there's no way you could get it. The encryption's too strong. Okay, all right. So anyway, but it seems like they're creating a team to do the ultimate heist. Screw over White Rose, and they've only got a few days to do it. And then there's on my You've Been Matted. It's not like it's a doesn't take a brain surgeon to figure this out. But Price is on my will not survive the season list. Right. He even says, I was dead from the moment I agreed to work for White Rose. Yep, there you go. That's the sign. Goodbye, sir.
On this show, man, I think it's. There are a number of shows that are willing to kill off characters, but this show doesn't have any compunction at all, which makes me feel like it's sort of like Game of Thrones was in the first number of seasons. It was only in the last number of seasons where you're like, now this person's Superman.
Yeah, they were from about maybe season 6 on or so. It was they're safe.
Right.
But you're right. For the first few seasons, it was like anybody's game, and same idea here. Where
which makes me surprised that they got rid of Angela so early in the season.
Yeah.
And you feel that Mr. Elliot and Darlene are mat proof.
Yeah, I don't think Elliot's gonna die in this show.
Okay.
Darlene, I would if I had to pick one, I'd go with Darlene. But
I feel like it's more likely that
you think it's the reverse.
Yeah.
That he's gonna do like a self-sacrifice.
Or yeah.
Because you feel like also he's just such a danger because he seems to be the only person in the world that can do computer hacks.
He's got these magical, supernatural computer skills that no one else can do.
It could be. I see that scenario. I just don't think it's 100%.
Yeah, no.
Whereas I feel like Price is 100% dead.
Where they're gonna go? You've been saying facetiously, perhaps, or at least perhaps in fear, that the culmination of this plan is time travel.
I know.
If you had to put money on it now.
If nothing else, they have strongly hinted at it, either just to be like ha ha ha, or for real. If I had to put money on, if I had to put money on it, I'd say no.
Okay.
But not by much. But I feel like if they've got this time travel device already in place, they would have already used it to fix the problems that they've already had.
If it worked, yes.
Yeah, right. So a working time machine. Now, when they have a broken time machine, maybe.
Yeah, okay.
You have a situation where you have White Rose sitting in like the remnants of a broken machine, and like, oh, my plans!
Yes.
It would have worked!
Yes.
All right. So,
if it was a working one, I suggest they have Noah Hawley take over the last number of episodes.
Yeah, there you go.
It would fit right into his wheelhouse.
So, if not a time machine, if not a working time machine, what is it?
Yeah, it's hard to. I mean, the fact that whatever it is that they need to concentrate in one place, if it was still related to what was been going on in the show, it makes you think it's some other form of internet or something, like. The regular internet would be destroyed, and then you only have to deal with us.
Introducing MySpace.
But that doesn't seem likely. So who knows?
No. Or is it just like a destroy the world kind of thing? Or like, because he owns everything. She owns everything already.
Yeah.
It's not like this way I can take more money from accounts.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, that's meaningless at this point. It's play money.
Yeah.
So it's got to be something more like
I would hope
permanent.
Yeah. Who knows?
I don't know. So if you have some ideas for what the machine is, let us know in the comments. So with that set up, and there's only a few days left till the end of the world, or at least the end of Elliot's world.
Yes.
He's got to deal with the sudden death of his mother. She was ailing. It's not like she was like, I'm 20 and now I'm dead. No, but she's passed away, and so he meets up with Darlene at the home, and they're going through her effects, planning out her funeral. And he's like, cardboard, cheapest possible urn, got it. Okay, this is where, to me, the episode slowed down, and I was a little frustrated with it. Because it was just like, there's this huge plot. We've got an Ocean's 11 thing going on with a big old heist, it's an impossible heist that you have to pull off to save everyone's lives. And then in the middle of it was like, mom's dead, and we're gonna have me and my sister aren't talking. Long silences. I was like, oh God. And then the thing of Darlene doing look, there's a safe deposit box. We have to go and see what's in there. It could be money or an estate in France. And you could see Elliot's like, I don't want to do this. No. And I'm saying the same thing. Go, Elliot, go. But finally he relents and they go. And then the show just pulls the rug out. It's like, there's nothing there. No, it was years ago. She stopped paying for it, so they threw everything away. Like, what? What was this all about? Now maybe there's a clever twist, and at some point they're going to come back around to remember that bank, that safe deposit box? It didn't get destroyed. Whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah, if the guy at the bank is some guy that
sure, like a Dark Army guy or something.
Yeah, like oh no, it's destroyed.
Yeah,
let's see if we can get into it and figure out what it is.
Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, could be. And if, in that case, they're playing a long con.
Yeah,
but just on its face, it was so maddeningly mundane. It
Or
was just like God.
Or we'll see in a future episode that, Elliot thinks they're going to the bank. But in actual fact, what actually happened was something else entirely. Something exciting.
Something exciting. Yeah.
It's like his brain couldn't handle this, like he couldn't handle prison. So he made something up. He made this, like, oh, let's go to the bank and look at a safe deposit box.
For about 15.
It's all in his head.
It's all in his head. There is some quality of it's all in his head later on. But for about 15, 20 minutes of this episode, during that middle section, I was being reminded, I was thinking to myself, you know who Darlene is? In this episode in particular, Darlene is Foggy Nelson.
Okay.
She's the guy who's keeping the hero from doing the cool stuff. I really don't think you should go do that cool stuff you do. Let's talk about it No! Foggy, get out of the way. So Darlene was Foggy.
Wow. Okay, that's not as bad as say the neighbor in Jessica Jones.
Oh,
it's like, ooh, what are you doing with my brother?
Yeah.
What are you? Ooh, Mr. Robot, stay away.
That was that's the pinnacle of getting in the way of the hero and to make mundane troubles. But okay, so the good part of that is they kind of ramp it up by the end where we get some revelations as a result of this meeting between Darlene.
Sure.
Also, we see that neither one of them really cares about the mom.
Right.
That they're using this as a way to process their grief about Angela.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of, once it hits that mode, it becomes more enlightening and more,
Right.
But that takes a while.
Yes, it does.
It does. She's like, I actually don't care about Mom. I care about Angela.
Yeah.
Oh! All right, thank you. So that's going on for too long, frankly, but fine. Meanwhile, we've got Dom, our FBI agent who is now being forced to work for the Dark Army to save her mom.
Yes.
She goes and gives an interview about Santiago and his death. Do they know he's dead or he's disappeared? I think they just think he disappeared.
I think
they said he disappeared.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. Either way.
Yeah, I guess, if they didn't know he was dead, it'd be very strange to see his body with a big axe.
Yeah, right. So it's a cool scene where you can see she's having real trouble because she knows that if she says the wrong thing, she's going to kill her mom and probably herself. Yeah. But it seems that they write it well that it's like, oh, she's going to do it anyway. She's like, yep, he's a double agent.
Yeah.
You're like, damn.
Yeah.
I was expecting the guy interviewing her to be a Dark Army guy. To be like,
yeah, me too.
do you want to rethink your statement?
Yeah, like turn off the tape or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
But no.
No.
As we learn later, he was certainly not.
No.
So what she does is she ends up saying what the Dark Army wants her to say, which is, yeah, he was a double agent, but he wasn't working for the Dark Army, he was working for a drug cartel. And so it's like, da-da-da-da. So then she checks in with the evil taxidermist. I'm starting to like that woman. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. She's very good role. She's always in spirits,
Yeah. And let's keep it 100. Anyway, so she's working with this taxidermist, and it's basically it's like, oh, so did you do the thing? Oh, yep, I did the thing. Well, did you convince him? I'm 99.9% sure I convinced him. Well, who was that again you were talking to? That was Agent Horton. All right, well, good. All right, well, thanks. Cut to later, Agent Horton takes a dive off of a building, and we learn that because it wasn't 100% and only 99.9%, the Dark Army killed him just to be sure that he was not going to spill the beans.
Now, see, that's an example of somebody who really runs their evil institution well is White Rose, unlike the Joker.
Which Joker are we talking about?
Any of them.
Any of them?
Any of the Jokers. You're like, oh, this current Joker could never be the mastermind of the other Joker.
Which I agree, which is true.
it always has to be there when crimes are occurring. He's always getting foiled by Batman. So no.
Okay.
White Rose could kick Joker's ass in
that
any
said,
version.
the Heath Ledger Joker, there's a similar body count to his employees at White Rose has.
No,
it's like, you work for me? You'll probably be dead.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you get less employees who want that death.
Yeah, that's right. So Horton is now dead. Oh, one little note, a little Easter egg, I guess, I don't know, for this woman who's working for the taxidermy. I should know her name, but I don't. Anyway, her. The name of the taxidermist, the taxidermy shop she runs is La Morte Heureuse, Happy Death.
Oh.
Which is, it's actually a Camus
poem. Or
work.
Story. Okay.
And it's just, whatever. It's French existentialism. But take that in context with last week, where when they went to the honeypot house, it was Sartre's No Exit.
Right. Oh, interesting.
Sartre and Camus were like buddies. They were friends for a while. Anyway. So there's a French existentialism going on here. Right. Anyway, there you go. Think. Elliot has convinced Price to find a way to get all of the Deus executives together. The way he's going to do that is he's resigning. To choose a replacement, we all have to meet in person. It's a little convenient, but so be it. So that's in play. Meanwhile, they also have to figure out how to get to get the account numbers for this Cyprus National Bank. So Price says, well, the person who was doing that for me was Susan Jacobs, but she's been missing for months.
Yes.
Now, Elliot doesn't know at the time, but what's happened is Darlene killed her a while back, seasons ago. And so, as Elliot tries to find Susan Jacobs, Darlene notices on his phone, it's like, oh, you see that name comes up, and without saying it out loud, she says, I killed Susan Jacobs.
Yeah. And it believes that, what's his name? Elliot is trying to make her feel guilty or feel bad about the fact, I guess she committed a murder or something. She's sort of like, balks at him.
Maybe in her mind, that's like the worst thing she's done. They're sitting in a church while they're talking about
this
too. Which is
true.
Like a confession or something.
True.
Because I don't know if I can't think of, has she killed anybody else? Is that the only murder she's done? That could be
the only one that occurs to me, yeah.
She still knows a lot about Susan, and so Elliot is going to try to, he and Darlene are going to work together. She's on the team.
Yes.
She's joined Ocean's 11.
Well, she was before. They were the initial ones who were going to do it. So they did the first plan, part of Mr. Robot's plan.
Sure. But Elliot said specifically this episode, like, that's why I was trying to keep you on.
Yeah, right.
So they keep pulling her back in. So she's in.
Yes.
And she apparently knows a lot about Susan Jacobs. I'm not sure to what end that's going to be useful with Susan Jacobs dead, but I think the idea is people don't know Susan Jacobs is dead.
Sure.
So maybe they're going to try to figure out a way to pretend that Susan Jacobs is alive long enough to get the account information.
Could be.
I don't know. Could be. But so that happens, and then Darlene mentions this thing about, oh yeah, remember when I told you that Vera showed up, and you never you just blew it off.
Yeah.
And Vera is the guy who killed Elliot's girlfriend seasons ago, and then he suddenly showed up at the very end of last season, kind of a post-credit stinger, talking to Darlene. So what this, basically the end result of this, what's very interesting about this is that Elliot gets mad at Mr. Robot, like, you're keeping secrets, I thought we were working together.
Yeah.
And Mr. Robot's like, look, I promise I was not the guy she was talking to. And so for a second I was like, wait, does Elliot not remember his own? But no, what we learn is there's a third personality that is unknown to Mr. Robot or Elliot. We then cut to the it's all in his mind moment, I think. I think it's pretty clear that it is, actually. It's like an E-Corp boardroom looking out over the city, the little kid spinning around in a chair. A mother figure walks in. I'm going to guess this is like young Elliot and his mom. That's what, if I had to guess. This is in his head, so maybe he's got some other personalities too, lesser personalities. Like this is me as a kid.
Maybe Darlene's in there. She's already dead.
Yeah. Oh.
Although he didn't know that, so about the death of that woman. So.
Oh, well, good. Well, yeah. Or did he? I don't know. You could certainly go down a rabbit hole here. But so there's a conversation there where this mother figure is talking to the little kid inside Elliot's head, and it's like, you need to get out of that chair. So they're coming or something like that. And the kid's like, what, Mr. Robot or Elliot? No, the other one. Bum bum bum. There is another. Right. So yes, Leia shows up. Cut off Luke's hand. So yeah, there is this other fairly dominant, apparently, personality living inside Elliot's head. Now, this could be very cool if they figured out if they had this plan from season 1.
Yes.
And they've been putting in some character that is actually this other version of Elliot that now they then reveal, and it would be a really cool surprise. It'd be like, what? Now, if it's just like, oh, it's meet new character.
Yeah.
Jerry Jenkins. You're like, oh, well, that's not as cool. So I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on who that character might be?
No. I mean, I feel as if it's possible that someone we've seen, and then it will just reveal that it really was, Mr. Robot or whatever. I mean, the way that they had him, shadow Gary Busey's son or whatever, in that one, it's like, he could be anybody.
Yeah, I mean, so candidates.
Although
might be...
my feeling is that, I shouldn't say that we've seen them all along. Perhaps there'd be some plan that was, something that perhaps existed that no one understood that now they can understand. We'll see.
I mean, maybe somebody like Tyrell, Wellick. I don't know. I mean, it's been so long since I've seen them.
Yeah.
Like, is it possible that
I don't know. Who knows?
Who knows? I was actually watching just a couple of scenes. Just YouTube was because I've been doing a lot of Mr. Robot. It's like you might like.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of this scene where it's a really creepy scene that that Elliot has with Wellick's wife.
Okay.
She's got the baby.
Oh, yeah.
And she's on the street, and she's like, oh, have you talked to my husband? And he's like, oh, she knows something's up.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's a really, like, she's talking to him like she knows him, but then she's like, I haven't seen my husband in 3 days. Right. I could imagine a scenario where she's talking to the guy that's actually
interesting.
You don't realize who you are right now. It would be a way to interpret that scene.
Okay.
But whatever. I know there's probably a lot of ways that doesn't work. But if you've got some theories, is it Darlene? Probably not, because he was in jail. She wasn't. I don't know. Anyway, think about it. If you've got some ideas out there for who this third personality might be, that would be cool. I'd like to talk about that with you. We'll be back talking about Mr. Robot, episode 3, and also Watchmen.
And also the end.
And also the end of Carnival Row. We're going to be doing that in the next couple of days. So we'll finish off that.
Yes.
Season 1.
For all you people holding your breath.
That's right. You've been dying to find out what do they think that's going to happen in season 2 of Carnival Row. We're going to tell you.
Yeah, we will.
All right. Anything else? Any further comments, sir?
That's, All
right.
Oh. And also the short trek.
Oh, we're going to talk short. Okay, we're going to talk that short trek in particular.
That short trek.
The Trouble with Walter.
That's right.
I think it's
Edward.
what it's called. Oh, I'll just come up with the name. Walter.
Strangely,
The Trouble with
I
Elliot.
remember the name.
Okay. That one.
That's because there's a trouble with him. That's all. That makes you remember Edward.
There was probably a Walter that was in trouble with that one too.
It was White.
Oh. All right. See you, everybody.